It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and this is news that you can use from CarEdge with your hosts, Zach and Ray, for Thursday, July 27th. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have full lighting, we have air conditioning, we've got it all.
We do have it all. You know what we don't have?
Well, we don't have apparently the inventory crisis that Ford doesn't realize they have.
Ford knows they have an inventory crisis.
But we're here to share that.
I'm pretty sure if I'm
rolling, I'm rolling again.
If I'm an executive at Ford, I know I've got an inventory crisis.
Really?
Don't you think?
You really believe that?
Don't you think?
You think they're concerned?
I think they are concerned. If they're not, they should be. Happy Thursday to everyone. Let's jump right in. We've got Ford quarterly earnings. They're coming out after the market closes this afternoon. We've got a preview here from Cox Automotive.
Are they not positive? Is that why they're coming out after the market closes?
No, you can either go in the morning or at night.
Okay.
Here's the deal, Pops.
Yes.
Market share is slipping over at Ford. No, it is.
Okay, that's not good. That's not what you want.
Ford underperformed the overall market, which had sales up 17% for the quarter, causing its market share to slip. Ford's total market share was 12.8%.
Yes.
According to Cox's calculations. Ford's share was only lower once in the second quarter of 2021 when it was 10.7%. The 2021 and 2023 second quarters marked the only time in the past 6 years that Ford's share was below 13% for the quarter. So Ford, historic in terms of the fact that they are losing market share, is paired with this realization, Dad.
What do they attribute the loss of market share to? Did they not sell as many commercial and fleet vehicles as, say, the other manufacturers did in the second quarter?
Could have something to do with that. I think it has a lot to do with this. Ford's average transaction price rose to new heights.
Ooh.
8%. Ford's average transaction price up 8% to $56,270. Its highest level for the quarter ever. Ford is all in, Dad.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about inventory sitting around because this overpriced inventory is now just sitting because people aren't able to pay for it. We're going to talk a little bit about auto loans today as well, like we typically do. Ford's market share down, inventory up, prices up.
Yes.
That's not a recipe for business growth.
Apparently not. How are their profits, though?
Yeah, they make a lot of money still.
Okay, so market share is down. Sales are down.
Sales are down relative to their peers.
Okay, and how much money did they make in comparison to the same quarter last year?
Yeah, we'll get that. Increase? We'll get that after hours today. They're going to make billions of dollars. That's what they do. They're still going to make billions of dollars, but they are losing that market share all the while. Dad, they are becoming. I mean, let's look at these prices broken down by the different brands that they have. And even some of the models. Let's do this. For the brand overall, $55,800 is the average transaction price. The Bronco saw a 13% increase in its average transaction price to $58,000. The Transit van rose 13% to $58,800. We also have, let's see here, the F-Series had a 4% gain in average transaction price to $66,000. The Maverick saw a 6% increase in average transaction price to over $30,000. The Mustang Mach-E is the only vehicle that saw its average transaction price drop in Ford by 3%, which makes sense because that's one where they have the most acute inventory crisis, too many vehicles.
Yeah, that's the one that's really sitting, yes.
Lincoln's average transaction price is up 5% to $68,000. The Navigator up to $106,000. Corsair up 1%.
Wow!
The Aviator went down 1%, but it's still a $70,000 SUV. So this is what you're looking at if you're Ford, Dad. You're looking at a bunch of expensive cars.
Yes.
That aren't selling.
And your point?
Evidently, that's the new way to run an automaker. It doesn't really make sense to me, but evidently it makes sense.
Well, let's take a second. Stellantis reported record profits.
Yep.
Okay. And what have they done more so than Ford?
Raise prices even more.
Even more. Okay. And have their sales dropped a little bit?
Stellantis' sales have dropped even more than Ford's sales.
But they're more profitable.
How does that work long term?
Well,
truly, how does it work long term?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I get what they're doing. They're saying we can afford to sell fewer cars and make more money per car that we manufacture because we're only manufacturing the high profit margin vehicles. We are not interested in producing low profit margin entry level vehicles. The hell with that part of the market. That can be served by pre-owned cars.
Are we not seeing, though, the automakers start to be reactionary to this? It's kind of going to be like, what's the first domino to fall? Incentive spending is up 70% year over year. The average incentive on a new Ford purchase is over $2,000.
I sent you a article this morning about Nissan, how they're utilizing 0% financing, and they have seen on their Rogues, and they have seen Rogue sales increase, what was it, 69%. So are there manufacturers out there that are throwing money towards it? Yes. But Nissan is still manufacturing more towards the lower end of the market, the entry level of the market. And yeah, they're willing to put money at it. I mean, which is what they've always done. And it's still well below what the incentive spend was prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Well below.
Yeah.
Even though it's up.
Which is offsetting the fact that they have fewer sales.
Yes.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, to think about it. They have a lot of vehicles that are very expensive.
Yes.
Sitting around.
Yes.
For months on end. Like we'll do it. This is what I love to do.
Well, there's that old joke, that you can sell things and lose money and you go, yeah, but we're making it up in volume. But this is not the joke portion of it. They're selling fewer cars, but they are making it up
because they're incentivizing them less.
Yes. So that the incentive spend is less, so it allows them ultimately to make more money selling and producing fewer vehicles.
Let's look at one really quick. We do this all the time. I love doing it. It's one of my favorite aspects of what we get to do day in and day out. Let's look at the numbers, Dad. Where's my zip code? I'm currently in Maryland.
Okay.
We do the East Coast a lot. Let's do somewhere else. Where do we want to go today? Midwest? You want to go in the Midwest? Let's go like Chicago.
Omaha. I like Omaha.
All right.
Yeah. Omaha. Yeah, I mean, when you think Midwest, you think Omaha. You could think Indianapolis.
68007 is the zip code we're going to go to. 68007 is what I said. Let me update my location. We are now in Bennington, Nebraska, Pops. All right, so let's look at
And I can honestly say I've never been in Bennington before.
We're going to go.
Pretty sure I don't want to be there again, but that's besides the point.
Let's look at
newer pre-owned.
Something's going on here. New.
Okay.
Ford. Oh, we did a release and evidently it broke that. That's a shame, gang.
Yeah, well, now you know what the team needs to work on.
Yeah, look, I'm choosing stuff, but nothing's happening.
You know what? Maybe we should just go with what they chose for us.
If anyone from the CarEdge team is on today's show, please know that we have a bug in production that we need to address. Well, dang it, I wanted to run one for, let's see, is there a Ford on this page? Because I'd really love to see what Ford inventory levels. I'll look at 2 pages really quick, and if there's not, we'll just move on. That's frustrating. Hyundais, a bunch of Hyundais.
Yes,
a bunch of Hyundais.
Bunch
an Ioniq 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to get to my Ford inventory because our filters aren't working. Well, that's a shame. All right, well, we'll have to try again at another time. While we were doing that,
don't you just hate embarrassing yourself live?
Yeah, no, I do. It really brings me very little joy.
Yeah,
but I get it.
It does prove one thing.
What's that?
We are authentic and transparent.
We are. Thank you, Positive Leader, for the contribution.
Yes, thank you so much.
We really appreciate it.
Maybe we could use that to fix the filter.
Maybe we can, yeah. Positive Leader says, Ray and Zach, could you do a detailed video on predictions for entry sedans and OEMs that are not ramping up production, specifically Toyotas, Corolla, the Honda with the Civic, etc.? I don't think there's a big incentive for those manufacturers to increase the production of those entry-level vehicles.
They've stated that they're going to, but what is the incentive for them to do that? They're their lowest profit margin vehicles, and without doing that, they still have a relatively large share of the entry level market because other manufacturers have abandoned it apparently completely.
All right, Pops. Evidently, it was user error. Someone in the chat said Control Alt 5 and you will get what you want. So I went ahead and I did a refresh, and there we go. Now the filters are working. So I guess it was user error. Sorry about that, guys. So let's look at this, Dad. We were talking about Excel.
Then we can use that $10 for lunch.
We can use that $10 for lunch.
Yeah.
Here's an F-150, a Lariat.
Yes.
It's a $63,000 truck, and we're in Omaha, Nebraska. 157 days supply.
That seems, like that seems a bit much. I know the manufacturers would prefer it to be a 60-day supply, and they start to get, like a tad concerned when it's approaching a 90-day supply. And in most cases, they start pulling their hair out when it approaches 157 or 147-day supply. So, yeah, there's an issue, but their issue is, or their Ford's thinking is, at least the manufacturer's thinking is, hey, we build them, we ship them to their dealers, we get paid for them. We're done. Other than, hey, we'll dump a $2,000 incentive on it to help the dealer get rid of it. Still benefits Ford. Dealer, not so much.
Let's look at this, Dad. We're nationwide. We've got 104,000 F-150s for sale. We're just in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's look within 200 miles. There's just so many of them.
Yes.
Let's look at one of the higher trim levels. I'm kind of curious.
Well, there's
the Platinum
right there. $71,000 truck.
142 days supply.
Yeah. So it makes you not want to rush right out and buy one.
No, it makes you really think that later on this year, there's going to be more and more opportunities there. All right, let's switch gears, Dad. There was news earlier today, one of the other automakers. It's automaker earnings season. We've got from Sonic Automotive, who owns Echo Park. Look at this headline, Dad. Sonic Automotive Q2 net income plunges 75%. Echo Park closure details released. We were really sad to see Echo Park go under because they were overpaying like crazy.
Yes.
Back at CarEdge.com/sell for people that were looking to sell a vehicle. But look at this, Dad. Profit down 75% year over year at Sonic Automotive. We are seeing a lot of, not 75%, but we're seeing a lot of downward pressure right now on dealers. So you've got two things happening. You got many things happening, but the two that I'll focus on are inventory building up. So Ford seeing their sales not grow as much as they'd like, and inventory sitting there, this expensive inventory. And then dealers seemingly holding the bag because their profits are the ones that are going down most significantly. What do you make of this?
Well, if their net income plunged 75%, well, that's because they decided to close, I think it was 6 or 8 of the Echo Park standalone pre-owned stores.
Yep.
So, there's a cost related to that. And if they close those stores during the second quarter, well, then guess what? It's going to take a hit as the income.
That's part of it, Dad. But I think it's also the realization.
When you look at the other big publics.
Yep.
And it seems like this was earnings week.
Yep.
Most of them had produced more revenue in the second quarter than they did the second quarter a year ago. But their profits fell. And their average F&I profits went down, average gross per vehicle went down. So they've all seen their incomes or net profit drop, even though revenues are way up.
Yeah, which is a sign of the times.
Yes, because suddenly they can't just sell cars with additional dealer markups. Suddenly they're back into having to discount the product in order to be able to sell it.
Which also hits on something that came out today, which is the CFPB. You said, sell vehicles with additional dealer markup.
Yes.
The CFPB came out with an examination of auto loans, Dad.
Yes.
That is truly fascinating. We're going to spend some time on it right here. Let me pull this up on the screen. CFPB, supervisory highlights report examines UDAAP, which we're going to break that down in a second, across several consumer financial products. UDAAP stands for unfair, deceptive, and abusive acts or practices.
Wow.
The report covers findings from supervisory examinations conducted from July 2022 to March 2023. What was happening between July 2022 and March of 2023 in the auto industry?
Well, additional dealer markups were common. Many dealers insisting that if you wanted to buy their product, that you had to finance it through their lender of choice, that they wouldn't accept cash from you. Things like that.
Financing well above 100% of loan-to-value ratio, etc.
Yes.
All right, some key findings include examiners found that consumers were misled in marketing materials by auto lenders about the quality of car they were eligible for under the terms of the auto loan offer. Servicers also reportedly charged interest on loans based on fraudulent representations by dealers that the vehicle had options and enhancements that it did not actually have.
That's what's known in the industry as power booking, telling the bank that a used vehicle has equipment that it doesn't have in order for it to book out for more, so that it becomes easier for the bank to say, yes, we'll lend that amount of money against that vehicle.
Did we see power booking through market forces? Like, well, this car is worth more because there's such a limited inventory, so that's why we're charging the $10,000 market adjustment. I mean, that's essentially what this is saying, right? This is saying that between the months of March 2022 or July 2022 to March 2023, examiners found consumers were misled by marketing materials about the quality of car they were eligible for under the terms of the auto loan. They also reportedly charged interest on loans based on fraudulent representations by dealers that the vehicle had options and enhancements that did not actually have. I mean, we're kind of getting at it a little bit.
What we were getting at was dealers figuring out how they could get the bank to agree to lend the amount of money they needed in order to get the consumer into the vehicle and into the loan.
And now what we're seeing, Dad, is that the ability to get folks into loans has plummeted. This data came out from the Fed just yesterday. The application rate for any kind of credit over the past 12 months declined to 40.3% from 40.9% in February, its lowest reading since October of 2020. The overall rejection rate for credit applicants increased to 21.8%, the highest level since June of 2018. The rejection rate for auto loans increased to 14.2% from 9.1% in February, a new high. It increased for credit cards, but auto loans, obviously, it did not. So we're just seeing a credit crunch happening, and you've got to think at least part of that is a bit of a reflection on what got us into this current situation, which is power booking, people pay, higher than 100% lifetime loan-to-value ratio.
May I say one thing?
Yeah.
I got into the industry in 1977, I think it was. I'm pretty sure power booking's been around forever. It's fraud. Dealers are committing fraud when they tell the bank that a vehicle has more equipment than it has.
Yep.
But it just indicates that dealers have been utilizing suspect business practices forever, and the reason they do is because they very rarely get caught, if they do, and if and when they do get caught, the banks just say, well, you just make us whole. Well, that's a small price to pay. We've talked about it in the past. Manufacturers many times have incentives for dealers to sell vehicles. Dealers, if they hit those levels, can pick up millions of dollars during the course of a year.
Yep.
Eventually, manufacturers run audits to make sure that the vehicles that the dealer said they sold during those contest periods were actually sold. In many cases, they were not. The dealer ends up having to write a check back to the manufacturer for the amount that they received fraudulently.
Yeah.
And the dealer looks at it as, well, it was an interest-free loan, and I'm just making a payment on it. This kind of nonsense in the automobile industry has been going on forever. And it is almost as if, from both the manufacturers and the bankers end, it's almost as if that it's expected to happen. And that if and when we catch you, just make us whole. That's all we ask. Just make us whole. It seems like there could be a better and more transparent ways in order to do this. But, then again, I could be wrong.
All right, you're talking about things that are disingenuous, fraudulent, etc. That's going to be a great lead into today's.
Really? You got to be kidding me.
All right, so we have over on caredge.com/community, a community forum where you can post false advertising.
Okay.
So, Pops, we had a community member here saying Bev Smith Toyota false advertising. Steven shared this. So here's an out-the-door quote. We're going to look at this in just a second. Before we do, let's look at the vehicle. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Steven's saying there's false advertising. So I ran the vehicle back on CarEdge.com. I like the work that we do here. And you can see this advertised price is $22,777.
By the way, Bev has a lovely signature.
Great signature.
Yeah.
$22,777. Yes. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, if this out the door price quote has any price different than that, then that's bait and switch advertising. But I'm thinking to myself, all right, let me double check. Let's go to the dealer's website and let's make sure that the information they have there says the same thing. Okay, dealer website says $22,777. So we come back. This customer actually goes into the dealership, and what do they see, Dad?
Ooh, a $3,000 market adjustment added to that $22,777.
So then I think to myself, go for it. You can go for it.
So really, the selling price isn't $22,777.
This is the type of stuff, just like you were talking about in lending. This is the type of stuff that's just expected. And what do I mean by that? Let's look here, gang. We've got $22,770. That's the price.
Yes.
Let's go down to the fine print.
Okay.
All right. Ready, gang?
Yes.
I don't know where the asterisk is because there was.
I'm sure it was up there on the
Did
price.
you see an asterisk?
No. I did not.
I guess maybe this. Please note we turn our inventory daily.
Please check with the dealer to confirm. Oh.
This is why, by the way, we're doing a CarEdge sales event. None of this bull crap. So, all right, there was an asterisk, sort of, maybe.
Yes.
The advertised price does not include sales tax, vehicle registration fees, finance charges, dealer options, market value adjustments.
Wow.
Get the hell out of here.
That's like
saying, all right, let's just put it in the fine print that we're going to advertise a fake price.
Yes.
And then what the hell, man?
Yes. That is an ownership group that has made a business decision, and their business decision is that they're going to be disingenuous at best. They're going to use bait and switch advertising in order to create interest in their vehicles, and then they're going to break it to you gently or not so gently when you get in that the price is actually higher. Yes, that's why we exist. Yes, that's why we're doing that first CarEdge sales event, because we want to prove to dealerships out there that if you utilize a sales process similar to CarMax or similar to Tesla, where the damn price is the damn price, it's just that simple, that there's a reason that nearly 1 million people a year buy vehicles at CarMax, and there's a reason why people who wanted to buy something other than Tesla end up getting Teslas, because they don't like this crap that they have to go through at the dealerships. So if you're a dealer, get your head out of your ass and move your business into the 21st century. Your business should not be built on fraud and deception. You wouldn't like it if it happened to you. You would probably scream the loudest if it happened to you. Yet you do it every day, and you encourage your staff to do it every day. Stop. Just stop. Get real. Get real with yourself. Get real with your staff. Get real with your customers. Change the way you do business. Do it for your own good. I'm sorry. I'm off my soapbox.
No, that was we'll clip that. We'll use that in like a bunch of different things. That was good.
It's just such BS.
It's the first time I've seen in the fine print.
Yeah.
Price does not reflect market value. Like, what's the price then?
Yeah. Why are you advertising?
Why are you advertising?
Yes. Yeah. Why are you showing that as a selling price when it is anything but?
Yeah, let's look at it. Maybe I missed something here. Maybe
there's no asterisk.
Last time I checked, there's no asterisk, and it also says retail price.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the retail price without the market value adjustment.
Yes.
So we all, as consumers, come on, FTC, come on, CFPB.
So that's Bev Smith Toyota.
There you go, folks.
This is Fort Pierce, Florida.
So for the
So if I was a customer in Florida and I wanted a Toyota, I don't care where in Florida I am, and I don't care how long I'd have to wait. I would do business with Earl Stewart Toyota in the eastern Florida, down by Palm Beach, I think that area, because they don't do any of this crap. If I was looking for a used BMW, I'm not looking at Bev Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just, as customers, when you see stuff like that, it's like when you're at the airport. If you see something, say something. Okay. So as customers, when you see something like this, say something. And we'll bring it to our community's attention. We'll bring it to, I don't know, our show's attention when we're on the air. We might even do a separate video about it. We need, if we wanted to do a wall of shame for auto dealers, we wouldn't have a big enough wall. Okay, we just
instead we're doing the trusted dealer system.
Yes,
trying to focus on the positive.
Yeah, which unfortunately requires a small wall at this point. But we want to have to enlarge that wall.
We do want to have to enlarge that
wall.
Well,
we want to literally shame people like Bev Smith Toyota for doing crap like this. There's just no need for it.
Hey,
there really isn't. And I know they'll say, well, if we wouldn't do that, we wouldn't get the clicks because our competitors are doing it. Be better than your competitors. Call out your competitors in your advertising so that you can be better. Lead by example. Just one time in your business life, lead by example.
Okay. You good?
No, this shit really pisses me off, and I'm not allowed to use that S word.
We're going to call it a show, folks. We're going to call it a show. Everyone join us back here tomorrow. We'll be on at 9 Eastern, 9 Pacific, noon Eastern.
Sometime
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be calm down.
We're gonna chill out over here.
Really?
Zen den, all right?
I was unchilled.
Yeah, a little bit. A little unhinged right there, but it was good.
Unhinged?
I'm
standing up for people.
Yeah, but your blood pressure, you got to make sure you regulate.
My blood pressure's good. My heart's pumping. I feel full of life.
I love it.
And then, what'll happen is I'll just keel over because I was so full of life. God, I hope that doesn't happen live.
I really hope so. The odds are that it could.
Yeah, let's hope not.
All right, let's call it a day, folks. Everyone join us back here tomorrow. Enjoy your Thursday, and we'll see you here again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And I do apologize if I annoyed anyone except that dealer.